So hey, what's up people? How are you? In this video I'm gonna show you people how exactly can you use a API to fetch data into your app. So we're gonna use an API from unsplash.com to get pictures into our Instagram app which we created in our previous video. So let me jump into my editor and kickstart the programming part. See you people there. So yeah people, here I am in my editor, and what we have right now is this particular thing. We have an app which has got a column for stories and it can be scrolled like this, and second thing we have is a column for, or let's say a row for, or a list for apps, posts, and these posts can be scrolled vertically. But the thing is, we have hard coded the whole app. We have put an image in the app and the single image is being displayed over and over. What we want to do is we want to retrieve some image from internet, and we want that image to be displayed in our app and each post to have different images. So for that we are going to use an API from unsplash.com. But before that, what I would like to do is cut this thing from here, this particular list view.separated column, and extract the widget from here. I'm going to name the extracted widget as post list, and I'm going to make it. So basically, extraction of widget means that this whole widget from list view.separated till the end will be created as a new widget like this, and new widget will be named post list, and instead of list view we have got a post list widget. So I'm gonna cut this whole widget from here, and I'm gonna make a new file named as posts.com over here, and I'm gonna paste this widget over here. And then we have to get some libraries and dependencies. Okay, so our code is basically error free right now, and then let's go to this particular file main.dart and let's import posts.dart. Okay, yeah, so now our app should be working. Let's restart once and let's check out. Yeah, it didn't give an error, that means it's working. So now let's get you people a developer's account from unsplash.com. So here I am on the unsplash.com website. What you're going to do is to get a developer's account and click on this your apps option over here. You'll get an option to get a new application, and you're going to click on that. Now what you're going to do is to check all of these. So I'm going to check all of them and accept terms. You have to fill out the details. So Shiapa, and next thing is this. Okay, and create application. Yeah, that's how easy it is. And what you're going to do now is get these keys over here, and what we are concerned with is this particular access key, and please get your own because I'll be deleting this particular app just after this video. So don't bother to use these particular keys of mine. So now let's jump back to our editor and see how to use these keys and what to do with these keys. And before that, I would like to show you people the documentations of how to create a GET request or how to fetch data from the API. So it says that the API is available at api.unsplash.com, and second thing is on the left side you have got options such as current user, photos, search, and collections. So right now we need a list of photos, right? So we are going to use this particular option into our API. And let's get back to the editor and I'll show you how to use this particular URL and this API. We have got a whole class for returning this list view widget, or let me show you on the app. For this particular thing, this whole list of posts is being returned by this particular widget over here. And now what I'm going to do is to turn this stateless widget into a stateful widget. So this is the help you get from VS Code. You can directly convert your stateful widgets into stateless widgets into stateful widgets. And now I'm gonna write the code for making a HTTP GET request. Before that, let's import the HTTP package. And if you're getting some errors, then make sure that you have added the dependency over here for HTTP. I have it over here. So yeah, let's import it as HTTP. Else sometimes it creates some problem. That's why I like using it as HTTP. Yeah. So now let's make a function with name of get data. And what it is gonna do is it's gonna make a HTTP request. So HTTP response is basically the response you will get back, and we're gonna name this response as response only. And now let's write the code for request. So http.get, so that is a get function, and it asks for the URL. So for us, URL is gonna be at the documentations of our app over here. And you can see over here, let's copy first of all this particular part from here, Control C and Control V. Let's add a string to it, make it a string by adding single quotes, and then let's check out what do we have to add for photos. So for a list of photos, we have to add /photos. So slash, and after that we have to add our client ID. So for adding client ID, what you have to do is write this part of the URL, client_id equals to, and then you got to get your access key from here, from the app, and paste it into that particular client ID thing, like over here. So yeah, our HTTP response is ready. The only thing we have to do now is make it a async function, because it's getting data from internet and it's gonna be pretty slow. So that's why we have to make it a asynchronous function, and I'll be covering more of asynchronous functions in coming up videos. So for now, all you have to remember is async function, these async and await keyword we have used as you're fetching data from internet. Now let's try to print our data. So what I'm going to do is first convert it into a list form. For that, what we can do is list, and let's name it as image data equals to, so we need something called as json.decode, and we'll be passing in response body. So what I'm doing over here is this response thing which we are getting has a lot of segments in the whole, in whatever the data which we have got. So we are concerned with its body part, and we are decoding it into JSON, from JSON format to the list format, or to list data type. And for using json.decode function, we'll have to import JSON convert library. And now let's try to print image data. This one, and let's call this function in this build function, so we can check if we are getting data or not. I'm gonna restart once. Okay, so we haven't added a semicolon. Let's add a semicolon. Perfect. So it's being restarted. Okay, let's wait for it. Yeah, so basically this is the data which has been retrieved, and here we have got api.unsplash, and so what we need to know is how to use this data. When you will follow this particular URL, then when you will open this on a browser, then you will get a web page which has got a data like this. But how to read this type of data? So for that, what I'm going to do is select all of this. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into a file which I'm going to create right now. Let's say data.json type of file, and I'm going to paste the whole data in this, and I'm going to save it. And upon saving, whole data has been formatted, and when we now view it, it appears somewhat like that. So this is basically a JSON format. For each value we have a key, for each key we have a value. And when you see over here, from this particular bracket in the second line to this particular line over here, 97th line, it's the data for a single image. So when you will click upon this, any of these particular URLs, these are the different image sizes, or you can say different quality of images. When I'll click on the raw one, I'll be redirected to a web page which will open the image, and yeah, so this is the particular image. And when I'll click on the lowest one, then the image quality will be a bit less, or the size will be different. Yeah, you can see over here we have got a different size. So we have to use these particular things in our app, and let's see how to do that. So yeah, we are getting the data. Now what we want to do is to use this list, or what we can do is make another list over here, list, and let's name this list as data. I'm going to name it as data equals to, I'm going to initialize it as empty, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this list to the list which has been declared outside like this. Or let's make another function for assigning. So basically what we are concerned with is this particular URL over here. So I'm gonna retrieve this particular URL like this. First we'll have to assign it to the data list like this. Data equals to img data. Okay, so this img data list has been assigned to particular this list. Or what we can do is we can directly add over here. So this data will directly be added into data list which we have declared over here. And now what we have to do is pretty simple, and it's just data dot element add. So let's try to print the first element in the list, and that is element at 1. And now I am gonna write a part of the code which you need to understand. So what happens is, this is a particular image data, and inside it we have some fields. So what we are concerned is with this particular fields of URLs, and in this URL let's get the regular one. So to access this particular regular one of the first element, I'm gonna write urls and then another square brackets, and let's write regular. Yeah, and let's add a semicolon, and let's first try to print it. So print, and let's call the assign function over here, and I'll tell you in a moment why I have made a different function for assigning. Okay, so let's wait for it as it's okay. So we have got the data over here, it's the URL, And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a for loop. So yeah, and for loop is gonna go till the length of data dot length. Yeah, so we are gonna make the for loop run for data dot length times. And what we are gonna do in this for loop is, okay, sorry, yeah, so let's use the data dot element at I. So this will give us the image at the ith index, and from it we need URLs, and let's enclose it in the double quotes, and from that we need regular. Perfect. And let's enclose this one also in double quotes. So what we want to do with this is we want to assign this into we want to make a list of only URLs. So how can we do that? By making another list of img URLs. So I am gonna name the list as img URLs, and I'm gonna initialize with 0, and this list is gonna be of type string. So that's why string. Okay, so yeah, this particular part is complete, and now let's do the part over here. img URL dot okay, add. Just a second, let's cut this part. Control X dot add, and let's paste it over here. Yeah, so this loop will add all the URLs of the regular image size into this particular list. And now what we want to do is just pass this thing over here, pass this list with index over here. So yeah, network image and img URL, and let's make it dot element at index, because it's as it is a list view dot separated type, it will have a property of index, correct? This build method, and this has an index, so we can directly pass integer index over here. So now when I reload, if everything goes well, I should get, okay, so we have got some error, and that is because of, I guess, this count. So let's make it data dot length, and invalid value range is empty. Okay, that is because data has not been assigned yet. So this particular build function is being called even before the data is being assigned it to this list. So for that, what we can do is make a boolean, and let's name this boolean as show image, and let's turn it false. Okay, and as soon as this data has been assigned, we can turn this show image as true, and we'll have to call set state over here. So let's paste it over here, and yeah, perfect. Now what we have to do is go to this particular network.img and cut it from here, or let's just cut the whole thing or whole image part from here, and let's give a condition that if show img is not true, then what we want is a circular progress indicator, else give us an image of this particular URL. Now let's see what happens. Let's reload it. It's restarting. Okay, yeah, it worked, and perfect. It worked perfectly and the way we want it to work. So that's it from this video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.